Good morning, Stampers. It's Fiona Whitehead here again from craftystamping.blogspot.com. Something a little bit different from me today. I've had a request from somebody to show them how a card I made that they found on Pinterest. It was a Christmas card and I don't have that card anymore. And I thought rather than remake another Christmas card, because it is April and the sun is glorious here in the UK at the moment and I wasn't in a Christmassy mood, I thought I'd update the card and give it a bit of a spring touch. So this is for Kim, who emailed me and asked me would I show her how I made the card. And this is the one we're going to be making. So I've done it in Watermelon Wonder, just to give it that zingy sort of feel. So let's get going. So I've got a piece of my watermelon cardstock and we're using the Jar of Love set mainly. And you know, that's a set that I've not been playing with for a while because we've had all this gorgeous celebration stuff. So it's nice to get back to it and play with it again and to update it, because I probably wouldn't have thought of doing that myself. So thank you, Kim, for the bit of a nudge. So to begin with, these little bits on the side here, I've used designer series paper and I've used the garden succulent paper here. And we cut those out with our 1 3/4 inch scallop punch. And the easiest way I've found to do it, because we are doing sort of half circles, you can do a full circle and fold it over, but my cutting's not brilliant. So the easiest way I've found is just to pop it into your punch like this and line it up to where you can see it's the halfway, and then punch, and then you're going to get a lovely straight edge and a nice cut on it. So we just want 3 of those, and that's easily popped out, and they are just going to simply be lined up along the side like that. There we go. Now we've got a piece of white cardstock here, which is 3 inches by 5 1/4. So that's what we're going to be stamping on. And here's my jar stamp. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3 different jars in the Jar of Love set. So whichever size you fancy using, you can use. There are also the framelets, so you could frame your card. Oh, sorry, just kicked the bucket. Not literally, I'm still here. You could, you know, use a frame and you could put little hearts or something inside it and make it like a little shaker card. You can do those little fireflies. Oh, I don't really like butterflies. I don't like to see things in jars and things, so I'm not putting anything in mine. I'm just going to put a few flowers in it. So I'm using early espresso just to make it a little bit softer, so it's not quite so harsh as the black. And just pop our piercing mat underneath, because this is the photopolymer sets, and sometimes they do need a bit of cushioning. I don't always use it, I must admit. Sometimes I forget and then I wonder why it hasn't stamped out, but sometimes you can get away with it. But today, for video purposes, let's stamp. So quite simply, stamp our jar. There we go. Wonderful things. And the lid also, we'll give it a lid just to finish it off. You don't have to put a lid on, you can leave it open and you can put some flowers in it. You can do anything you like, but I'm going to just put the lid on. There we go, just to finish it off. And the ferns, I've used the Botanical Blooms framelets, which is this set here. And I keep mine inside with my stamps on a bit of magnetic sheet. So it's this little one that we've used. I have done them already through the Big Shot because they can be a little bit fiddly to take out, and I didn't think you'd want to all watch me trying to fiddle with them, the little darlings. So they're going to just be glued onto there. Before we do that, I'm using the bow. I tried tying some bows. In my original one, I had a little bit of red ribbon, and I tried the thread and you couldn't see it. I tried the coloured ribbon and it just looked too big, and then I remembered that the set does actually have a bow, so we can use the bow. And I haven't cut this one out yet, so I'm going to do this for you now on the Big Shot. And I'm using the Watermelon Wonder ink and the stamp. So let's stamp it first, just onto a piece of Whisper White. There, you see, I forgot I didn't use my pad then, but it's fine. So we don't always have to. And just get the corresponding framelit. And I'm just going to run that through the Big Shot. Let me just take that ink out of the way so I don't get ink all over my arms or all over my fingers. You can always tell when we've been stamping, can't you? Let's just grab the Big Shot into the camera for now. You never know, there may be people out there who haven't used the Big Shot. And this one is the Stampin' Up's one. Lovely, love it. It was a big purchase, but I've used it so much. I just love it. Right, that's about on there. I don't have the magnetic platform. That is on my list. And if you are doing fiddly ones, you can always use a little bit of our washi tape just to keep those framelets in place. If it is a very delicate one, if you don't have the magnetic platform. There we go. Let's pop that out there. I'll just put that over there. And pop that back in its box so I don't forget it. And here's our card. So that's going to be our little bow that's going to go on there. So let's just glue our little half moons down before they get lost, because one has got lost already. How does it do that? How can it be here 1 minute and then gone the next? I have no idea how it does it. So I'm going to just pop another one out, because I don't know where that one's disappeared to. It's not like we won't use it again, probably. There we go. Just stick those down on the edge. A little bit of snail, which doesn't want to work. No, that one's finished. I've got another one. Here's one I did earlier. My dog's in here with me at the moment. Every time I stand up, my one dog just keeps running away. Bless him, he's a rescue, and he hasn't got a very good start in life. He gets very nervous, but he's a sweet little boy. And he's an English Springer, so bless him, he's mad as well as nervous. I'm sure you've seen pictures of my dogs on my blog. And my cats. Right, so that's that done. That's going to just cover those up, just like that. Actually, I'm going to put those a bit closer together, because that's not going to cover them up quite as much as I want. So let's just put them a bit closer together like that. Luckily this glue is allowing me to shift it. There we go. And then that's going to just hide them so it looks like they're peeping out at the side. There we go, little half moons, or fluffy clouds they look like as well, don't they? So let's just finish off our jar. I've got, still from the Jar of Love, the small little flower. I did use the flower from, I think it was the Love and Affection set, but I thought, no, let's keep it in with the Jar of Love. And then if you're panicking thinking, oh, I don't have that set, I can't do it, it just shows you can use any little flower you've got from any set. And just with the Watermelon Wonder again. And just dot a few little flowers just in the bottom. Actually, these are prettier than the ones I used in that original one. And here I should have done my pad, because you can see that's not quite stamped. But it's fine for now. It's creative, it's crafting. It doesn't have to be perfect. As I'm always telling my husband, who's an engineer, just doesn't get the whole it's not perfect bit. And what I did do on these little ones is I gave them little tails just by using the old olive green out of our watercolour pencils. So that's the one. Might just do that again, just draw in some, they look like little stems. If you try to put big stems in, I think they would just look too full. So they're just sitting in the jar. I mean, they should all be at the bottom, shouldn't they? But that's physics, and I'm not good at physics. Right, just going to glue the little fronds on to the top with a little bit of glue. You could use glue dots as well if you wish. But this is fun. I do love these little fronds. It's so pretty. I am hoping that this set stays in the next year's catalogue. We won't know for another few months, then all will be revealed. But at the moment, I'm hoping they're still going to be in. And this is our little bow. I'm going to just pop that on there as well. And I think I put a little diamante on there, so you can pop one of those on as well, or an enamel dot, or anything that you have. Just going to finish off the jar at the bottom with some more watercolouring, just a tiny little bit. I'm just going to use the grey. There's the grey, basic grey. just so it doesn't look like the jar is hovering in midair, just a little bit of the grey at the bottom. Just gives that little bit of a shadow, and then it doesn't look like it's in outer space. And just come along then with your blender pen and just blend that grey in. It's very subtle, very delicate, but just adds that extra little bit so the jar looks like the jar's shadow. And my sentiment I used for this one, I used just the thanks, which is also from Jar of Love. So obviously you can use whichever one you want. I might just do a different one here, and I'm going to do the hello. And I did it in Pear Pizzazz for this one. Let's make sure that's right, that's right. I might put this on here because I want that to actually show up nicely. So I'll remember to use my pad. Just grab my Pear Pizzazz and make sure I've got my stamp the right way around. That would be a shame after doing all this. And I'm going to do it on a bit of an angle there. Just hello, like that. And then just the little heart from the same set. And obviously you can use any set you've got to fill in your jars. It doesn't have to be the Jar of Love. And you can use any wording sets you've got. This is the beauty of Stampin' Up. You can mix and match. I quite like the heart there, just going on the edge. I do love this watermelon wonder colour. It's not normally my sort of colour, but I think it looks pretty with this. There we go. And then all we're going to do is stick that onto there, like so. Let me take that pad out of the way. Run a little bit of the snail along there and pop it on. Make sure they're all lined up so it's hiding them. And then I just finished it off with, yes, you've guessed it, Wink of Stella. Just to give all those little flowers a shine. It's, you know, it's very delicate, isn't it? You can't always show up on camera, but it does give it that bit of a glimmer. I put a little bit on the heart as well, and I put a little bit on the bow as well. There we go. So that's my updated card. Not quite a Christmas card, but it just shows you that even though you've got sets that aren't Christmassy, you can turn them into Christmas cards, and they don't have to just be Christmas cards. You can turn them into everything else. So there we are, Kim. I hope that helped you, and if you do make some, do pop by my blog and let me know. I'd love to see what you've made. I also have a Facebook group that I've just started. It's called The Joy of Sets. And every week, or maybe more than once a week, I'm putting in a set, Stampin' Up set name. And all you do is come on and show us your projects for that set. It could be a current one. It could be a past one. It's just encouraging people to use up their sets, because a lot of the people have said, I've bought that stamp and never used it. So if you want to come and find us on Facebook, we're The Joy of Sets, and hope to see you there. Thank you very much. Bye.